It's Thursday, September 17th, and today I talk with Austin Ryan about Linchpin, a book by Seth Godin, and we talk about what his takeaways are from the book. I hope you enjoy. Hello, Austin. How you doing, bud?
Hey, how's it going? Long
Good,
time
good.
no
Let's
see.
talk about the book you just read, a book by Seth Godin called Linchpin.
That's right.
So this was your big goal for this quarter. Your me goal for this quarter was to read the book and have this conversation, which is great. So let's go. Let's just get this kicked off and jump into it. What do you think are some of the things? And I think I asked you to read this book, I guess, a while back. Why do you think I asked you to read this book? What would you guess?
Yeah, so it's kind of I think it's a good book to read whenever you're starting a career, um,
Hmm.
with kind of realizing that you can put creativity into your work,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it's hard to see value into that. It's if you do exactly what you're told and don't add any of your unique genius to things, then
Hmm.
you can get by. But we all have something specific to offer that will make our work a lot more valuable, and
Yeah.
it'll make it a lot more enjoyable for us in the long term. So
Yeah. I think it's one of those I want. When you come into your exactly right, where you come into your career and thinking of like what unique you bring to what unique qualities you bring to your job, and then what are the things that you can do also, what like within an organization, are you just someone who takes orders, or are you somebody who really comes in and is constantly looking for how can I apply myself. I'm not here to work the 9 to 5. I'm here to, while I'm going to be at work, I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be creative. I'm going to really show, use the gifts that I've been given to go make a difference. And when you end up starting to do that, you become critical to the organization, because a lot of things that you're doing, some of it has a recipe where you can sort of like go through and do, you do X then Y then Z. But a lot of the stuff you end up doing, the real creative stuff, you bring in, it's really pushing you to a next level. And so I think that's important as you, also from a competitive edge too. When you're looking at where you're going with your career, if you're able to sort of frame something out, go solve the problem, and come back and report on it, it's so much better than you just sort of saying like, you've even learned this, like, even the stuff with stuff today, you ended up trying to solve a problem, and then once you couldn't solve it, you came to me with it. But that's a key thing. That's one of those big important things that make you really a lot more valuable to an organization, is that thinking of what it is that I can do, and bringing that energy to the job.
yeah, and it's learning what your specific kind of abilities are, your specific genius is, and then having, I guess, the vulnerability to give it in your day, and then expect, or usually pushback comes, and so if you don't give your full self, then you don't have to take that backlash, because whenever you're vulnerable, the backlash means a lot more.
Yeah.
So you kind of laid out that previous generations, with the Industrial Revolution, usually, I mean, the majority of people, they kind of looked at their job as keeping their heads down and following orders,
Yeah.
and they would get something out of it. At the end of the day, they would have a stable life and stuff, and get your happiness from the stuff that you get from your stable job. And so he's kind of pushing back from that, and showing that linchpins are, you can be one and still be productive, and you don't have to kind of lose that passion that you that you find with the internal value with doing what you love. Yeah.
What do you think, as you look at one of the things that Linchpin, sort of like it makes you become a little bit sticky within an organization because you're the ones out there making things happen and become critical to the organization. And with you sort of like wrapping up what you're doing at ThreeWill and moving on to your next thing, what do you think? And a part of this is like, I don't. So does some of this apply to when going into the Coast Guard? You some of it's going to be you're following orders, but
Right.
then like I wonder sort of like what sort of things. Is there anything you can take away from the book that sort of like you're going to bring to whatever you're doing next, or what are some of the things, or is it like for the time being when you're going through boot camp and those types of things? Yeah, you're just there to take orders, but eventually some of this stuff you know that you can apply it to what you're doing.
Yeah. So I do have a little bit of pushback from the way he's thinking with going into the Coast Guard. There's a purpose to boot camp.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe a little bit separate from the job that I'll do after. They're molding you into in boot camp, as far as I understand. I haven't been in it, but from who I talked to it about, they're kind of putting you in situations where you can find internal strength and leadership. So they're trying to they're not trying to make you fail, but they're, I guess, giving you the opportunity in hard situations to show that you can succeed and you can make a choice. And so a lot of the Coast Guard, what's really important to them is that you take leadership positions, you take ownership for things. And so I think, that aspect's really important with kind of tying it to being a linchpin. I'm wondering kind of what the possibilities of, so I'm trying to be a rescue swimmer, and that's a program that's developed over the past couple decades, and it's continually been improving. And so I'm interested to see kind of what ability that you have to help with the improvement of that. So that'll be interesting to see, but
Yeah, some of this might come a little bit later on. I could see you going in, but I just read a book and I'm an artist and I want to do it this way.
Yeah, probably not going to work. I guess you got to earn the respect. Maybe that's a part of it too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I think this probably a lot of this stuff you might want to maybe revisiting it later on. Just it's one of those things. It's probably a good reminder for us as well especially as we start something creative or start something new. There might be a good book to take another look at. Yep.
Right.
So anything else? What other things? Maybe one more thing that we have that you sort of are taking away from the book that was a big thing.
He talks about linchpins, talking about the characteristics of linchpins.
Yeah.
Generally, they run towards fear. So he says that they do feel fear, but they acknowledge it and then proceed anyway. So I don't know, it goes along with failure and continuing towards a path that you're trying to go on. And so being okay with that fear and failure.
Yeah.
So it's a characteristic of the linchpin. And I think of the linchpin just as, a lot of characteristics of a leader. So.
Yeah, I think one of the big things with failure, what you find out is about when you're growing, what you want to have is you want to have these little failures. you want to have these little things that you learn from. You don't want the, Tommy talks about waterline decisions. You don't want to really, you don't want these failures that, end your life or sink the ship.
Okay. Yeah.
But you want to have these, you want to be open to the possibility of failures, because those are those are the areas where you're learning, and
Yeah.
you're building up things like courage and persistence. And also that's a place, there are lots of people think, if you have a whole career where it's just success after success after success, I don't know if you really pushed it. And I think Tommy learned that waterline decision from like Gore. I learned fairly early on in my career from when I was at Intel. They would actually set up like internal competition, like two departments going against each other, and one of them would fail. Failure was a part of innovation, and I think that's an important thing to take away from the book as well. Well, thank you for doing this, Austin. I appreciate you, everything you've done, and wish you the best of luck as things come up. I hope this book will be helpful for you, whatever you end up doing. And thank you so much for. I'm going to miss you doing these podcasts and all this stuff. But you'll have to come back and do one with me.
Yeah.
One on boot camp. Tell me what boot camp's all about.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Work Together Better podcast. We're available on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn. If you're looking for a partner to help you craft a modern digital workplace on the Microsoft Cloud, please come by and see us at ThreeWill.com. That's the number 3 spelled out, WILL.com. Thank you and have a great day.